Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Codations coming at you today with another video. So today's video, we are taking a look at synergies for all those beginners out there that are confused and interested and or worried about having the right formation, and this couple from this team, this couple from this race, this couple from this race, and trying to just build your team around synergy. We're going to take a look at that, and this is going to be the guide for you. Hopefully, some of those mid-game players can find some love in this synergy. I have talked to several in-game players or players that have been playing for quite a long time that have heroes up into the 200s. So they kind of gave me some feedback, and we are going to share that feedback with some of you guys. So without further ado, let's check out the video. Alrighty, taking a look at the synergy today. So what do I mean by synergy? If you go to the campaign hall here on the center of your screen, you're going to click the battle button. When you do, you are going to see your lineup of your heroes that you have last used. Of course, sometimes this is not updated, and that is because you have since upgraded some heroes and manipulated some stuff, but yet you have yet to come in here and use them in the lineup on the formation. So taking a look at this, we are going to actually focus on this lineup buff down here in the right hand corner. As you can see, it is a gray orb. So what does that mean? That means I do not have a lineup buff active at this very moment. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to come through here. We're going to clear all of our heroes off of the formation. So what you see on your screen right here, this is the blank formation. Before you load any heroes in. So you got your heroes down here. We can place people that we want to place on here, and you can also move them. So I don't know, I think some people have asked this question too. You can actually drag them or click them and move them with your hand or your finger in on the app version. Anything like this, you can move them wherever. Okay, so why is that important? Well, what makes that important is because some of your units are front row units, like what you would consider warriors in this game. For instance, the Storm Guard, or a tank. So if you're familiar with the term tank basically just means they soak up a lot of damage. They don't really do a whole lot of damage, and normally they have like defensive stances and buffs and things like that. So that is going to be your tanks, and that is going to be your first 2 slots. It is recommended to do a tank if you have a tank. If you do not want to run a tank comp, as some people late game are choosing not to do, they are actually running assassins, so a melee class. So for instance, putting your assassins in the back is whatever you want to do. I mean, they're still going to attack, but basically having them up front, they're taking a little bit more damage with people hitting them from the front, but they're also attacking first and everything else just because they are on the front line. So some people are opting to do that. I know some people are actually running a 2 tank combo or a 2 warrior combo, and that's pretty common right now. I think for especially mid-game players and beginners, you're seeing a lot of 2 tank combos. So this guy is technically a warrior, even though he's a hell unit, but he's a warrior, and so is the Storm Guard. So they are both considered tanks, right? So this is a 2 tank combo where you would set up the 2 tanks in the very front. Some late game players, like I said, are swapping out one of those tanks for an assassin. So you are doing an assassin in the front with a tank, and what that does is sure, the assassin might take 1 or 2 less hits like before he dies, but he's going to be doing way more damage. So your damage meter and your damage amount is going to go way up using that assassin versus dropping the assassin and putting in another tank. Okay, so keep that in mind. Another thing that I have seen is some people are actually running no healers or a healer. So for instance, if you just started off in this game, as this video is portrayed as with beginners, you may not have a 5-star healer, right? So you might be using maybe this guy here, which is a 4-star healer for the Fortress class. Or maybe you are using the Siphon right here. So this person here, she is a grave unit. She does a little bit of heals, nothing too major, but she is technically another healer. You might be using the one that you have gotten for free for connecting your Facebook account. which is the priestess. She technically is given to you at a 5-star. Did I have her at the very top here? Yeah, I did. So technically, you could be using her. She has some decent or some okay heals. Again, nothing too special. I think a lot of her stuff, though, is single target on herself. So she's kind of selfish. Another 4-star heals in the game. Let's see if we've got one. We probably don't. Okay, so we don't actually have one on this account, but it's not a big deal. My point is still the same. So basically, some people at the beginning of the game, they always see these healers or these priests, which is the technical class term. And they're like, oh my gosh, I got to run a priest. You know, they're going to get some heals, blah, 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 blah. However, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that priests are not all what they are cracked up to be. So yes, the class is technically a priest. Yes, they technically can do some heals. And yes, sometimes they can pull off some amazing heals. However, more often than not, they do not live long enough to save anyone. Okay, so the heals that we have seen so far in this game are nothing too crazy. I know we'll do a priest video later on. I'll dive into that a little bit more. But as I mentioned before, some people run a 1 priest combo where they run a warrior or 2 warriors and then they run a priest. Other people late game especially are starting to opt out of running a priest, and instead they are running another damage dealer. So because the priest would be in the back, you could run another assassin. A lot of times people are running maybe another mage. They could be running a ranger, so you know you're running another ranger in the back, something like that basically just aids your team a little bit more than just taking 1 extra hit before they die using a priest. So that is just going to be another suggestion there, kind of a little bonus tip. Wasn't exactly what I wanted to cover, but back to what we were saying with the lineup buffs. Okay, so these synergies is what they're actually called, but so lineup buff, which is right here. So what do I mean by that? Well, there's a couple different lineup buffs. You have the rainbow buff, okay, which is going to be 1 unit or 1 hero from each race. So we've got I'm just going to place them in here. This is not the order you should place them, but I'm just going to place them in here. So we've got a forest, as you can see right here. We've got a savage unit. We've got a fortress unit. We've got a hell unit. Let's continue. We've got a heaven unit, as you can see right here, and we have a grave unit. Now, what did this do with the gray orb in the bottom right hand corner? It changed it to a rainbow. When you click it, it will actually give you more and additional information. I wish the gray, when you click it, instead of saying no lineup buff, it would actually show you all the lineup buffs. Devs, I think that would be something to add into the game. I got to remember to write that down so I can add it to the Discord in the suggestions. But basically, rainbow buff, deploy heroes from 6 races and 1 from each. So you get a 10% HP bonus, you get a 10% attack bonus, and then because we're using a heaven and a hell unit, the heaven units get additional 1% and damage immune 1%, and then hell units get attack plus 1% and then power 1%. So that is going to be the first lineup buff we're going to take a look at today. And remember, guys, that is rainbow. So we're going to drop these units back out. The second one on this list that we're going to do is going to be a 3-3-3 comp, and what that means is 3 from the same faction, or sorry, 3 from the same faction. Geez, I don't know why I said 3-3-3. Sorry, 2-3. So we're going to do 3 from the same faction, 3 from another faction, and it's going to generate another buff. Okay, so we're going to do, I don't even know what we should do. We'll just do 3 forest right here because I have them already on this list, and we'll do 3 fortress. So 3 fortress here. Like this, and as you can see, we get the half and half buff. So you're going to get the binary power is what this one is called. Deploy heroes from 2 races and 3 from each. So you're going to get a 10% HP bonus. You're going to get a 12% attack bonus, and because we are not showcasing any heaven or hell heroes, they do not get these additional bonuses, but you're still going to get a bonus from getting the HP bonus and the attack bonus for the binary. Okay. Now, the last one on this list that we're going to get is, like I mentioned before, a 2-2-2 combo. So we're going to do 2 forest units. We're going to do 2 fortress units, and then let's see what we have. We'll just do 2 grave units because I have them right here. And as you can see here, you're going to get this nice little tri combo, and it is called the Trinity Force. So deploy heroes from 3 races and 2 from each. you're going to get actually a 12% HP bonus, and you're going to get an 8% attack bonus. Again, because we are not using any Heaven or Hell heroes, we do not get these additional buffs that are placed here for our Heaven and Hell units. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the 3 different lineups that you can do. So you're going to get the Trinity Force, the Binary Power, and then you're going to get the Rainbow as the multiple options that you can use. Okay, so now getting down to nitty and gritty. Is it necessary? So let's go straight to beginner, and let's state, right, if you look at my lineup right now and the units that I have that I am using, when I place all of these units in here, so as you can see, the ones that I have actually leveled up, taking a look at this comp, I do not have, as you can see here, I do not have a lineup buff. Right? So you're going to think, well, that's kind of weird, right? Like, why don't you have a lineup buff? I'm level 68. You know, my heroes are, a couple of my heroes are at level 100. I can push some of these other ones to level 100 if I wanted to. You're probably wondering, that's kind of goofy. Why aren't you using a lineup buff? Well, here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just starting out, right, and even late game players are starting to shift this meta, if you are just starting out and you do not have good enough units, right, or the units that you need specifically for your play or your lineup buff, do not sacrifice your good units. And so what I mean by that is I've got this mage here that is a forest, I've got this 5-star savage unit that's here that is an assassin, and I've got this 5-star fortress person. Well, it's unfortunate because that's the only 3 5-stars. Well, I guess I technically have this healer down here, but that is technically only the 3 original 5 stars that actually go to 250 that I'm willing to invest further past 80 or 100, okay, for leveling. So I'm going to use those 3, right? Because I would be stupid not to use those 3, at least right now at this point in the game that this account is on. However, right, the units that I have and the abilities that they have and the abilities, you know, from reading these abilities and what I want to do and how I want to play, it doesn't work with a lineup buff. So even though a lineup buff would be nice to have that a little bit additional, you know, like stats and statistics, which I'm not blaming you if you disagree with this, but I do not think it's worth breaking a team comp, right? Or breaking, you know, or dropping, let's say for instance, I don't know. Let's see if we can put something together here. Let's see. Yeah, that would work. Okay, so we've got this one savage character right here, right? Let's say, okay, well, we want to get that synergy buff, right? We want to get that lineup buff. Well, so I can just drop in, you know, my 5-star druid healer, for instance, right? Let's say I just swap that out. Now, as you can see, we got the Trinity Force buff, right? Which gives us the HP and it gives us the attack boost. We do have 2 hell units, so we do get the hell buff. Now, one could argue and say, well, yeah, that's a really good option, but here's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. I have this 5-star sitting here that is an assassin that is going to do the most damage on anybody out of this team comp that I have sitting here, and I'm not using it. And that's what I'm trying to explain. I'm not going to run this, you know, priest healer. I'm going to throw this in here. I'm going to sacrifice this buff because I do not need it, because I'm going to be able to progress further with this additional damage unit that I have. I'm going to be able to get a higher numbers in the guild battles and guild raids, which is going to put me higher ranking. I'm going to be able to do better in arena, things like that, without having the synergy buff. So if you disagree, please be sure to comment down below. I love to hear different people's opinions. I love to hear, you mean like somebody's, you know, other side of things. You know, I'm not trying to be biased here. I'm just trying to go off of what my personal opinion is and what some of the late game players that I have spoke to that have really good comps. Like I said, some people are actually doing this in the long run too. They are, you know, sacrificing some of those buffs, because as you play this game, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, as you play this game and you get 5 stars, it is crucial you use those 5 stars over a 4-star. So what I mean by that is, let's say this mage right here, if I was able to pull a 5-star, not a priest of course, but if I was able to pull a 5-star damage dealer, so if I pulled, let's change this up really quick. Let's say I don't have that. Let's say I have, I don't know, this, nope, we'll do this, and let's say I've got this here, right? So if I've got this 4-star mage, right, that is sitting here that is level 60 or whatever level they are, if I've got this 4-star mage, and let's say that I've got this fortress one here, but by using this Here, let's go one step further. Let's just make it a comp. There we go. Okay, so let's say I'm using this combination here, right here. So I've actually got a binary power, right? So this is actually what I'm getting. I'm getting this additional buff. I'm getting this here. I'm getting these stats here. Now, here's the problem, right? So let's say I pulled this mage. Well, what do? Am I going to not play this 5-star mage that's going to go to a max level of 250 when I've got this mage here that is only going to cap out at 200 and doesn't do nowhere near the damage or have near the amount of stats? No, that would be stupid. That would be a mistake. So for me, I'm going to drop that mage, throw in this fortress character, or this forest character, as you can see, because she's a mage. And guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, it breaks my lineup buff. But do not sweat that. Do not let these lineup buffs dictate, you know what I mean, you replacing a 5-star with a 4-star hero, okay? So you need to use the 5 stars that you have. When you get 5-star units in this game and you get duplicates, you have no other choice for free-to-play players but to evolve. Go to your hero section here, go to the evolution tree. If you've got 5 stars that you can evolve and push further using these 4-star units, you need to do so. And even if that 5-star unit is not in your comp and you have a unit in your comp, a hero in your comp that is not as high level as that 5-star that you just evolved, then you need to swap it out, okay? That's how you're going to progress in this game, especially for free-to-play players. It's going to be imperative to do so. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys learned a little bit about those synergy buffs. I hope you get a better understanding of what it is and how it works. And like I said, do not sweat the small things. That is going to be it for me, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell if that's what you're into, 2020 style. I hope everybody is staying safe with these riots out here in the United States. If you were in another country, congratulations. You are free from those riots, hopefully. But I will see you guys on the next video.